If you are someone who aspires to be financially capable, to have a high income and fewer debts, and for yourself, your family, and your children to enjoy a decent life, then this book will be very useful for you. In this video, we will explain the first lesson from the 6 lessons that Robert Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad, through which he became one of today's wealthy individuals. This is an explanation of the first lesson from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by the amazing author Robert Kiyosaki. In this video, I want you to prepare a really delicious cup of coffee or your favorite drink and focus with me, because I am confident that, God willing, after this video, your perspective on how to make money will change. So, enjoy. Peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Welcome, my friend and follower, to the Book Summaries channel, where coffee, music, and books come together. The idea of the channel, in short, is that I read a book and give you its benefits. So if you want to get the benefits of reading without actually reading, subscribe to the channel. When we explained the introduction of the book, my friend and follower, in the previous video, and for those who haven't seen it, I recommend going back and watching it, we concluded that Rich Dad told Robert Kiyosaki, "I will give you the first lesson of the 6 lessons that will lead you to wealth." And the first lesson was just one sentence that, for me, my friend and follower, changed my life. I'm not saying I became rich. No, of course, I won't reach wealth overnight. Where's Aladdin when you need him? But my perspective on money completely changed, man. My future plans changed after I heard this sentence. And today, in my bank account, there's an amount I never even dreamed would one day sit in my account. Believe me, my friend and follower, the person in front of you is one of the poorest creatures on the planet. Truly, my friend and follower, I was broke, and I could tell you the story of how broke I was later, but right now, my whole situation changed because of this one sentence. The first lesson is, rich people don't work for money. A rich person doesn't go work 8 hours a day, or 12 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week, 11 months a year just to get money. A rich person doesn't do that. Rich people make money work for them. A rich person has assets that work for them. Businesses, shops, stocks, bonds, real estate, intellectual property like books that they write, which then get printed and sold worldwide. Money, my friend and follower, works for them. That's what being rich is. I swear, if you think about this sentence deeply, it will completely change all your future plans. As for me, I really used to see a job as my first, strongest, and most important source of income. Okay, I believed I should start a business one day, but honestly, no. My job was the most important thing. It was my biggest investment. I would take courses, training, and certifications to improve my professional level and increase my monthly salary. I was really following this plan. This was my future. Then I read this sentence, thought about it deeply, and realized it's true. A rich person doesn't think about how to get a job. A rich person doesn't think about working 30 days to get a paycheck. A rich person thinks about how to take that paycheck that someone else worked 30 days to earn. That's what being rich is, my friend and follower. In short, this is the first lesson. Rich people don't work for money. Money works for them. I consider you, my friend and follower, I really do, that you believe in the saying that your reactions to the situations that happen in your life are what shapes the life you have today. And what does this mean? I'll tell you. In your life, from the day you were born until today, many situations have happened to you, and in those situations, you had to respond to them. For example, let's say someone lost a loved one who passed away. Their reaction to this situation will shape their future. Some people feel sad for a while about losing that person and then move forward in life. Others stay trapped in a cocoon of grief that never ends until their life basically stops. Their life stalls, their hopes die, and they wither away. And you know people like that. This reaction determined and shaped their future, among many other reactions. Let me give you another example. Suppose you are 20 years old, you just graduated from high school, and you get a job offer in the United States, for instance. The offer is very tempting, but it comes with a 30-year commitment. You can't leave the company for 30 years. Your reaction to this offer will shape your future. If you reject the offer, you'll likely continue looking for a job in your home country. If you accept it, there's a big chance you'll move to the US, live there, get married there, have children there, and your kids might even become American citizens. Of course, my friend and follower, this applies to all your reactions to every situation you faced from birth until today. So the way you are living today and the circumstances surrounding you are most likely the result of the reactions you chose. Nasser, why are you saying this? What does reactions have to do with the first lesson? I'm telling you, after that very important conversation between Robert Kiyosaki and his rich dad, Robert Kiyosaki went back home and said he didn't tell his dad that he was going back to the store to work without getting paid. He said this because his dad's mindset was a poor mindset, so he wouldn't understand the purpose of this action. He said that after 3 weeks, we heard for the first time Mike's dad's truck, who is his rich dad, stop in front of the store. The first time we saw Mike's dad in the store, he came in, went to the ice cream freezers, and bought us ice cream. Then he said, "Let's go for a walk, kids." And we went to the public park nearby. He said we sat there and another important conversation happened, the same conversation that happened before. He said, of course, we were sitting there eating ice cream when he turned to us and said, "So, how's the work going? How's it going without a paycheck?" We realized then that he was laying the groundwork for some information he wanted to give us. So we replied saying, "Everything's fine, everything's fine." He said, "Well done, kids. I see that you understood the lesson. And this, believe me, is in your best interest. I don't want you to fall into the trap of a job like Mrs. Martin. Didn't you see her situation? She's over 45 years old and works for me, and even though she's a manager, every Saturday she lines up to give me updates on what's happening in the store. Sometimes I'm satisfied with them, sometimes I'm not. She chose her life this way, and I don't want you to make the same choice." We responded, "But, well, she's an older lady and her job is respectable. She didn't steal to make money. In the end, she worked hard, and the salary she gets is in exchange for her effort." He said, "No, never. I'm not questioning her. She's a respectable woman, and her job is a respectable job. That's unquestionable. But it's not the best option for her. She could have enjoyed a better life than this." Then he asked us, "What would you think if I gave you a paycheck, but this time not 10 cents, this time 25 cents an hour?"
So, 1.5, my friend and follower. Robert Kiyosaki said, "My heart started beating fast." He said, "But Michael and I looked at each other, and then we stayed silent. We knew there was a trap in this, so we shook our heads. No, we don't agree." Then he said, "Seriously, 25 cents didn't tempt you?" We shook our heads. No, it didn't tempt us. He said, Okay, I'll make it instead of 25 cents, $1 an hour." Robert Kiyosaki said, "My heart wanted to jump out of my chest." He asked, "So, do you agree?" We stayed silent and said, "No, we don't agree." He said, Okay. Forget the $1 an hour, $5 an hour. So what do you say?" Robert Kiyosaki said, "Here, I think my heart stopped. $5 an hour? In the year 1956, adult men weren't even getting a salary like this. So imagine children getting $5 an hour." He said, "If we had accepted the offer, we would have been the richest kids on the planet." And we shook our heads. No, we didn't agree because we knew it was a trap, my friend and follower. "Funny thing," Robert Kiyosaki said, "while we were sitting there, the ice cream was melting. We forgot to eat the ice cream because of this situation. Anyway," he said, Excellent. I really like you." And here he started giving them the important lesson, my friend and follower, which is where you'll understand why I mentioned reactions with the first lesson. The rich dad said, "Everyone around the world wants money for 2 emotions. The first emotion is desire. Each of us has many desires. We want to own a house, a car, new clothes, jewelry. We want to travel, go here and there. So many desires." He said, "This is the first emotion.
The second emotion is fear. We are afraid of not having money and starving. We have kids, a family, obligations. We must have money. So, desire and fear are the two emotions. He said, the difference between the rich, the middle class, and the poor is their reaction to these two emotions. Let me give you an example. If you ask anyone, my friend and follower, from the middle class or the poor, what would you do if your income completely stopped today? Ask them this question, and most likely their answer will be, I would look for a job. They study for 12 years in school, 4 or 5 years in university, maybe more, and as soon as they get their graduation certificate, they look for a job. The problem isn't that they look for a job. The problem is that they believe a job is a safe source of income. So in short, their reaction to desire or fear is that they look for a job. They work in order to get money. As for the rich, their reaction is different. Their response to these two emotions is not to look for a job. Instead, they look for something to sell through which they can make money. Here's the point, my friend and follower, so you understand me clearly. It's not that there's something wrong with a job. There is nothing wrong with a job at all. On the contrary, anyone who wants to start their life will most likely start with a job, and there is nothing shameful about that. In the end, money doesn't fall from the sky, and people who are currently employed shouldn't understand this as, quit your job today. No. The message the rich dad wants to deliver is that you should not set in your mind that a job is the safe source of income that must stay with you until the age of 60. No, he wants you, even if you are working today or looking for a job to make money, that once you get a job, you start thinking about how to build businesses and get rid of that job. Start thinking about how to make money work for you instead of you working for money. This is the message he wants to deliver. That's why, my friend and follower, I mentioned the topic of reactions and told you that reactions are important and that your reaction today is what will determine your future tomorrow. Robert Kiyosaki, in his second book, The Business of the 21st Century, says that after his wealth reached $3 million, his business collapsed and he fell, not just below the poverty line, but into bankruptcy. And not only that, he was homeless on the streets. He says that at that time, his friends came to him and said, Robert, you have a strong CV. You worked before in prestigious companies and high-level government institutions. You can easily find a job today and work to make money. He says, I kept telling them no. And his wife also said no. He says, we lived homeless in our car, my friend and follower, for a period of time, without going to look for a job or work to bring us money. We were thinking about a way to start a business from scratch and make money. And after some time, we actually found the business, and after 10 years, we became rich again. What Robert Kiyosaki wants to convey from this story is that he learned not to respond to these two emotions by looking for a job. The core of the message, my friend and follower, and what you must keep firmly in mind, is that a job is not a safe source of income, nor is it the best solution for making money, nor the best way to generate financial income. If you have a job today, benefit from the salary that comes to you as much as possible, even though that salary may be loaded with commitments. And this is exactly what the rich dad used to say. He would say, you will see people with very high salaries, thousands upon thousands, and yet they are still drowning in debt and obligations. So there is a problem with the idea of salary, and you need to be aware of it and understand it. Anyway, Robert Kiyosaki says that after he finished this lesson, he said, I want you to use your minds. Use your mind. Look for a way to get money other than working for money. He says, he dismissed us, and we went back home. Then we went back to working in the store, and his words kept ringing in our minds. The rich don't work for money. Money works for them. Use your mind. The rich don't work for money. Money works for them. Use your mind. He says these sentences kept repeating a lot. One day, a truck from a company arrived at the store delivering children's comic magazines. He says that after Mrs. Martin took a certain quantity of magazines from us, the company gave her a box full of magazines and told her, here are extra magazines for free. This is for promotional purposes, meaning if you like them,
You can order larger quantities. But listen, you're not allowed to sell this batch. It's for display only. He says, Mike and I, the moment we heard that, went to Mrs. Martin and asked her, "What do you do with these magazines?" She said, "Well, usually we put them in that warehouse and maybe on some days during the year we do promotions."
And anyone who buys a certain number of magazines, we give them one of these magazines as a gift. Not because we're allowed to sell them, we give them as a gift. So we sat for a while, Mike and I, thinking, what should we do with these magazines? What can we do with these magazines? How can we even benefit from them? He says an idea suddenly popped into our heads. We immediately went to Mrs. Martin and said, "Would you allow us to use these magazines?" She said, "What are you going to do with them?" We said, "We'll do a nice idea with them, a good idea. We'll take them to Mike's house and do something cool with them. Are we allowed?" She said, "You're allowed, but listen, do not sell them at all. This is not legal." We said, "Okay." And indeed, he says, we took the magazines and brought them to Mike's house. He says that in Mike's house, the space under the stairs was a neglected area, as is common in many homes, the area under the house stairs. We fixed it up, organized it, put shelves in it, and lined the magazines up on them. He says, we opened a children's magazine library. We let the neighborhood kids and our school friends come to the house and pay 10 cents to enter for 2 hours, from 2 in the afternoon until 4 in the afternoon, and read as many magazines as they wanted. He says the offer at the time was amazing, and if you remember, my friend and follower, they used to buy one magazine for 10 cents. But now a kid would come, pay 10 cents, and read as many magazines as he wanted. Robert Kiyosaki says, the kids flooded in, and Mike's and my income reached $9 a week. He says it reached the point where we hired Mike's younger sister and made her the librarian, and we paid her a salary of $1 per week. And Mike and I were working in the store without pay, while we had money working for us at Mike's house. He says this project continued for 3 months until it collapsed one day because of a fight between the kids, which completely ruined the project. Meaning, back then, this was considered a disaster for them, like the COVID-19 pandemic. So he says the project shut down. But we understood the lesson and realized that the best way to get money is to build something that makes money work for you. My friend and follower, I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to say now. First, I want you to always remember that change begins with changing your mindset. You have to start seeing money in this way. You have to start seeing that the way to get money is not through a job. A job can be used as a bridge, but the real path to wealth is different. Maybe you don't want to be rich, but I'm talking to those who do. If you want to be rich, then you have to think about how to make money work for you. That's the first thing. The second thing, my friend and follower, is that you will not become rich overnight, and you will not become rich without effort. And the effort I mean here is the effort of building businesses, not the effort of working a job. For example, I'll give you my own case. One of the things I decided to do after reading this book was to build intellectual property content. Content on social media, especially YouTube, is considered money that works for you. I decided to build content and truly put effort into it, just like I'm doing with you right now. I've been filming for an hour and a half, and I'll edit for about 8 hours of work. Then I'll upload this video to YouTube. After it's uploaded right now, each video brings me about $1 per week. Tomorrow, views will increase, subscribers will increase, and YouTube will keep placing more ads. And the more views there are, the more dollars there will be. So instead of $1 per week, it will become $1 per day, meaning $30 per month. And that 30 can later become 300, and 300 can become 3,000. Believe me, my friend and follower, there are people on YouTube who make far more than $3,000 per month, by a lot, crazy numbers. And they show their numbers and say this openly and honestly, I like them. May God provide for them and grant them success. They worked hard, and they got the result of that hard work. What I'm trying to get across to you is that your project doesn't have to be intellectual property on YouTube. It could be intellectual property in books. It could be a business you start from scratch. You could start making things and selling them, or cooking things and selling them. You start with a small product and sell it. Then it grows and grows until it becomes an online store, and the online store later becomes a physical store, and so on. And for every hardworking person, there is a share, God willing. So the conclusion is this: there is effort involved, there is consistency, and there is time. You will not become rich overnight.
Then, by the way, let me give you a piece of information. Do you know that the salary you receive from a job is not actually in exchange for your work or your effort? Meaning, tomorrow when you get a job, or if you already have a job today, you receive a salary for it. The salary you receive is not really for the work you do. You are selling something to the company or the organization you work for, and in return for what you sell, you get money. But unfortunately, my friend and follower, the thing you are selling is your time. You are selling 8 hours, and in exchange for those 8 hours of your time, you get that specific salary. And if you want proof of what I'm saying, tomorrow, God willing, when you get a job, or if you're already employed today, you will see on your team one person who works hard all the time, who hustles non-stop, and you'll see another person right next to them who barely works at all. Yet both of them will receive the same salary at the end of the month. Why? Because both of them sold 8 hours of their time. The salary they receive is in exchange for the hours they sell and spend sitting in the office, not for the actual work they do. When I learned this information, from that day on, I started thinking about the day when I would submit my resignation. Of course, I'm not going to resign while I have obligations, university, and a household to provide for. Yes, my friend and follower, I'm supporting our household. But from that day, I started working on several things. Over time, God willing, I will have income that makes me independent from a job. And instead of selling 8 hours of my time, 1/3 of my life, to other people's projects, I'll be selling my time to myself. Those 8 hours will be mine. For example, I'll spend them filming 1 video a day and uploading 30 videos a month. Those 30 videos a month, which I worked hard on and built their content, will bring me money in the future. And whoever truly strives finds results, my friend and follower. So it's very, very important that you leave this video with a changed way of thinking about how to get money. I want you to always think about how to make money work for you. Do not underestimate or look down on any project. This project, you water it today, you work hard on it today, and with the farming principle, tomorrow it will grow and start producing for you. Money. Money that gives you a decent life. Money that makes your life easier, man. And I repeat this again and again. This is not shameful, it's not forbidden, and it's not wrong. On the contrary, as Ahmed al-Shugairi says, you have the right to live a decent life. So I want you, after you close this video, to think today, think tomorrow, think for a week, for 2 weeks, or even a month, about how to find a way to make money work for you. What I want to get across to you is that you can find a way that matches your abilities, and through it, completely change your future. And I'm confident that you can do it. All you have to do is work hard and stay consistent, and with the farming principle, you will reach it, my friend and follower. And here, the first lesson comes to an end. The second lesson is also a beautiful one, and we'll take it, God willing, in the next video. So if you benefited from this video and know someone who could benefit from it, send it to them. Don't hold back. You might change their life, my friend and follower. And don't forget to give us a like so we can reach more people. And as I told you, if you want to get the benefits of reading without actually reading, subscribe to the channel. This episode ends here today, my friend and follower. Until I meet you next week, God willing. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your time, which is priceless.